Salt merchant Seijiro doesn't know how he ended up alone and far from the Japanese salt road, nor why Yukiona is hunting him. As Seijiro braves freezing temperatures, he must piece together what has happened to him if he is to escape the Yukiona's clutches. But the truth might just be colder than the air he breathes. Hello everyone, and welcome once again to the Heir's Lair. I'm your host, Jonathan Taylor. Today's video sees me once again return to the world of graphic novels, though it might be more correct to call this piece a graphic novella, even though I'm pretty sure its creators would disagree with that labeling. The piece in question that I'm going to talk about today is She Is Coming. Written by Midori Anzai and illustrated by Leona Moy. What is there to say about this little piece of fiction in general, aside from it being quite a bit shorter than the last time I delved into this, field of fiction, and namely that it is short enough to go through over the course of a lazy afternoon. Well, the TLEW for this review is I actually found myself being impressed by reading this book, because while the conceit, while the principal idea behind it is very straightforward, the author knows just how to manipulate the events that she is describing in order to both gain and hold the audience's attention. All of that is obviously helped by the illustrator, who more than pulls her weight in bringing the story to life. So, yeah, if anything you've heard about this book so far sounds interesting to you, then I can only recommend you go ahead and actually read it. Okay, now that out of the way, it's time I delve a little bit deeper into what it is that characterizes this story. The plot of this manga follows Seijiro, a salt farmer and merchant, on his way to deliver a crate of his merchandise. On his way, however, he attracts the attention of a supernatural creature, or being, depending on your preferred terminology, and he notices that his priorities change quite rapidly. I can't tell you what he does afterwards because, it falls in my spoiler policy, but I can tell you some of the things that are characteristic of the unfolding story. Chief among the things that have caught my attention is the plotting, because while the conceit is pretty straightforward, the ways in which it is actually twists and turns, the changes that it brings upon itself, and given the way it is set up, do make it quite interesting to follow, and therefore adding a lot of immersion and suspense to the reading experience, allowing the readers to better follow and to get invested into everything described, but not just described, also illustrated, because as effective as the author is in presenting the story, the illustrator pulls her weight just as much. It is very much her merit as well, when it comes to how this narrative is put together. Leona's artwork is neither minimalist nor busy, but it does a great job at focusing both the words of the author and the attention of the audience. Every panel she draws is drawn with the precise intention of getting the story to move forward, and it is through that that layout that the story becomes elevated through the becomes elevated and becomes more interesting and more exciting to read through. Speaking of simple and effective, with this premise in mind, the world building is quite interesting as well. It takes the basic premise of the story, and while there is a dominant palette and mode that the manga is going for, there is plenty of variation when it comes to various elements that comprise the world, and and various other smaller aspects of it that help build a more comprehensive and more lively, more immersive impression of it. One that helps readers become more interested and be better able to follow what it is that's going on. The most interesting part about world building actually occurs after the end of the main story itself, within the additional material or addendum that the creators have put in place for for the audience, allowing them additional information insofar as I'm having another brain fart now. Insofar as various elements that are used within the story to come to life, particularly when it comes to clothing and various bits of folklore. That being said, there is one aspect of the narrative that isn't strengthened by this simple and effective mantra, and that is its characterization. Given there are two lead characters in this story, and I'm very much stretching the definition of a lead character to be able to say that there are two, it is perhaps not surprising. Seijiro himself receives the lion's share of characterization, and even then, it doesn't really go beyond his love for his family and his dedication to his to his way of life. His family arguably receives a little bit more development, but even then, it doesn't go too far beyond beyond the simple characteristics that make them generally endearing. It's not really enough for them to stand on their own as exciting and independent characters. It could be argued, or one could argue, that is not particularly necessary in order to make this story work, but it would have been a welcome addition. Another welcome addition would have been for various individual panels to be adjusted somewhat in order to better convey the tension of the moment within the narrative. Because while for the most part it is done the manga is quite effective at both at framing the words of the author and at guiding the eyes of its readers. There are some parts where that doesn't exactly work, where the author doesn't fully use the illustrator doesn't fully use the dynamic potential that her art really really has, and that would have been a very welcome improvement. Another thing that would have been welcome, but I will not hold against the creators, if this manga could have been if the pages of this manga could have been flipped through left to right, the same way a manga typically is, as opposed to right to left, which is how it is in Western media. Will fully delve into the immersion. Given the pages are read from left to right and then straight down, this this little piece would have been that much more effective at putting the putting the reader that much more into the into the right mood and into the right cultural context. But I understand if Amazon's requirements or some other things would have made it impossible. So I'm not going to hold it against them. Overall, this simple story is written in a very engaging way. One that manages to connect with the readers on a more personal level, that manages to make this story quite a bit more memorable and a bit more exciting than one would expect. Expect. My final rating for She Is Coming is a 3 out of 5. And that was my review. Thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed it, please like the video and maybe even share it wherever you think other people will also like the video. If there is anything you'd like to add, either to the book or to my review of it, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe. And ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. My books, the first of my own Heir to the Empire series, The Next Generation and the Path Not Taken, are available at their respective at various book retailers under their respective master links in the description down below. Right past my social media links, which I would suggest you check out should you choose to. Additionally, you have the option of supporting me on Patreon, where depending on the level at which you pledge, you will be able to you will receive various perks, such as early access to my videos and scripts, both for this channel and my second one. Because yes, I also have a second channel, where I talk about whatever it is that interests me in the moment. Until next time, I'm Jonathan Taylor, and this has been the Heir's Lair.